Hello everyone, Fanta here. You're watching Fantavision, and today I'm discussing the Google Stadia, which was announced today by Google. Well, it was already talked about before, Google streaming console, but nobody knew what it was going to be like. Speculations were all over the place, and now we finally have our answer that it's not a console, which is interesting. It's just a service for existing platforms. Or at least that's what it sounded like. So it's a cloud-based service. Think Netflix for video games. And you can play games on your phone and then immediately pick it up on a different platform. I don't know. I don't completely get it. There's still no price about it. There's still no talk about what games are going to be exclusive to it. I mean, so far, I don't really completely understand the platform. I mean, their pretentious trailer where they basically just showed a bunch of happy people playing video games and streaming and reacting to people streaming. Why did you show that? And then a bunch of old people streaming games and being very confused. They showed us this trailer that gave us no information on the platform. And then basically the whole thing was just showing tech demos and showing, hey, look, you can play this on your phone and you can play this on a crappy computer. You can play this on basically anything. They're saying that this will work even if you have a crappy internet connection, or they're working on making it work on a crappy internet connection. I don't understand how they could directly influence that. I don't know how they could fix that problem. They definitely can't fix the data cap issue, which is, by the way, something I keep bringing up whenever I talk about cloud-based systems, because that's the problem. The internet infrastructure in this country is garbage. And because of that, and all these antiquated, stupid rules we have with these different internet companies that we're slaved into, we just can't have something like this yet. You just can't. You just can't do it. I mean, Netflix is barely usable in a lot of different places. So when you've got an internet-only, not site, not software program, I don't know what it is, you're screwing yourself here. I don't know. I mean, OnLive, I understand that was a long time ago, but OnLive was exactly this. This is what OnLive was. OnLive had the phone to the computer, and it had its own console streaming thing. It had its own controller, just like the Stadia. It had all these different things. It even had the capture thing, just like Stadia. So it's got all these different things, but it's just like OnLive. And there are people saying that Google is too big for this to fail, but Google Glass, I mean, where's that, huh? Google Pixel phone, the hardware itself, it's a slow phone with lots of technical issues. It's got an amazing camera, but I've heard so many issues with the audio, and there's all these issues with all these other Google technologies out there. And then for some reason they put the Google Assistant built into the controller. If we bump that button, it's going to be extraordinarily frustrating. I hate having the stupid Bixby button on my phone. I don't want that stupid thing on my controller. I already have my Xbox all the time trying to get Cortana to work in the middle of a firefight. I don't want more of this stupid voice stuff, especially hard built in to this controller. If you can turn the button off, that's not that big of an issue. But I mean, there's so many different things we don't know about this service. Lots of people are like, even articles are like, well, they unveiled it, but now we're kind of lost even more now. And that's about how I am too. It's not a console. Or are they going to make one? I don't know. They announced so little, in my opinion. And like I said, we don't have pricing. And the thing is, I'm still against cloud gaming, not for just the fact that our internet infrastructure won't handle it, but because you don't own those games. You know? I mean, that's fine for movies. You watch them once and you're done, whatever. But I constantly go back and play old games all the time. So you're not going to own any of these games despite spending all this money into it. And I'm sure that's fine for a lot of people, but there's also a lot of people like me who even go out of their way even further than just wanting to own the game, but I want to own it physically. And that is not going to be a possibility with this. You can't even just buy the games outright digitally from what it sounds like. You have to stream it all. which makes sense because if you can't have this huge back catalog. I'm sure they're probably going to rotate out titles that people aren't playing anymore. And they're talking about cross-platforming between consoles, but I don't know if Microsoft and Sony are going to allow that. I don't know how they're able to promise something before the systems or this service is even out yet. It's really interesting. So this whole thing, and the controller itself looked really weird. It looked like a Wii U controller and a PlayStation controller had a baby or something. It was the weirdest thing. I don't know how I feel about it. I haven't held it yet. I haven't used it, but from what it looked, it looks okay. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. I prefer the sticks, diagonal from each other instead of horizontal, right, parallel. I mean, that's a personal preference, but... And then there's this weird thing they said about the controller, that the controller is Wi-Fi based. It can tell which screen you're using the system on, and it's more direct to the servers than if you were using just a regular controller. Does that mean, are they implying that there's going to be some input lag that is noticeable enough that maybe we have to buy this controller? There's so many different questions I have for this. I don't know. I'm kind of baffled. I mean, I guess if they price it low enough, they'll at least get a lot of people interested and people will subscribe out of curiosity. But I really don't know what kind of pricing plan they could put that would make sense, in a profitable way. I'm not in the business of this kind of stuff. I can't think of how much it would cost to run all of those servers to all those different computers and stream these games. I mean, that sounds like a lot to me. But what was weird is they showed like a downloading screen. It's a very confusing thing to me from what I've read up on and from what I've seen, and I'm hoping that they release more information soon, but pretty much everything I said before the reveal kind of stands. It's a cloud-based system, which is really not for me, and a lot of other people I know probably wouldn't like that sort of thing. Then there's other people that I know that don't have great internet, very, very slow internet, so they can't even use this sort of thing. And then there's the data cap, which I am affected by and lots of other people I know are affected by. So we're already trying to manage our data from either watching YouTube, uploading YouTube, watching Netflix, downloading updates for our games. It'll be really interesting to see when we get more information on this. But until then, we don't really know the UI. We don't know what kind of friends list they're going to have. We don't know anything, really. So until they show off more, it's still kind of just an idea. I mean, this unveiling really was kind of pointless if they weren't going to show us more information. I mean, they had this big show about it, but then they showed nothing. It's really strange way to show off a product. I mean, I get that they're trying to at least unveil it. They're trying to give the name out, but when you've got no features besides you can play it anywhere, I mean, that's already been a thing. Most of these things they've shown off have already been in existence before. So I don't have a whole lot of faith in this product so far. And I mean, that's just because they've shown off so little. I don't know if they're still very much in development. They said 2019 though. They said it's going to be this year, but again, they didn't give a specific date. That's the whole presentation wrapped up in a nutshell. Here's some vague information. Enjoy it. That's it. So let me know what you guys think about the Google Stadia down below. To me, it just sounds like OnLive 2.0. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I missed something during the presentation. Like the video if you guys liked it. Subscribe for more content. And as always, have a fantastic day. See you guys. So I'm drinking Blue Paddle. The only reason I'm drinking a beer right now in this kind of video is because I'm about to have some pizza. Pizza and beer is just an amazing combo. And I also have a shirt that says "Just Another Day" on it. And it's got a bunch of bottle caps. Which, funny enough, my mom bought that for me on Christmas several years ago. So Apparently, my mom also thinks I'm an alcoholic. Also, streamed The Division 2 yesterday. Well, today, but this is going up. Anyway, if you have the Xbox One copy, I'm going to keep pushing this because I'm having a blast with the game. Join the Fungingi Force.